Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming, but I've not long been back from London. Spent a bit of time with the family. Now they're all in bed. I figure I'll come and give you guys an update on what's going on. Give me a second. I'm not using my hard drive as a tea bag. So how are you all feeling? Have you enjoyed the fireworks? So, let me tell you about the Westminster bubble, because I've been using it. Robert Mugambi, you made a tit out of yourself today. Well, who knows? Because we've got some very interesting things happening because of this. Stuff's going to go on. So, you may notice that London and, I would say, some of the big inner cities like Bristol, Oxford, Cambridge, and the sort of Surrey area are very different to many of the other parts of the country. But I want to talk about what happened and why it happened. But I'll give you a bit of a run up as to what happened. So we had a very busy day yesterday, and I've got an amazing interview with Helen Dale coming, and it really is amazing, right? It's probably my favourite interview that I've done so far. She is an honest to God gem. She is she's unique, and she's got such a fabulous understanding of certain things that I think really have. I mean, just that interview alone has really helped contribute to my own. James Dellingpole did an interview with her, and I was listening to her, the topics on which she was speaking, and I was like, she really gets it. I knew she was good. Everyone said she was good, but I didn't know how good she was. And so that should be up tomorrow. So honestly, that is going to be a real treat. But in the meantime, what happened? So we did our live show, and apologies again to people that it wasn't the Corbyn one, but a lot's been going on. But I'll have that up soon as well. And so afterwards, we went out drinking with everyone who came, and that was lovely. Thank you, everyone, for being so kind and so much fun to talk to. Like I really do love hanging out with people afterwards, because everyone's just it's the giant shitlord meetup, Everyone's just having a good time. Yeah, what did I say in V's clip? Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? The sound is somehow not very good. All of the media there with all their professional equipment, and somehow the sound isn't very good. Weird. Really makes you think. Thanks, the Unwanted Scrubber. Well, but right. So I was sat there thinking about it, and it was late, and we were a little bit drunk. And I was like, right, Dank went out and got really drunk all night. And so I was just I was laying in bed and I couldn't sleep, and because it's hard to sleep in hotels anyway, because I'm used to my bed, obviously. But no, it's late, and I literally in the last 2 days I've had about 8 hours sleep, if that. So I don't really I'll go through the super chats in a bit, because I really want to get this all out while I still remember it quite fresh. And so last night I was laying in bed and I couldn't sleep. My mind just wouldn't shut off, and I wasn't comfortable. I was sat there going, right, okay, what's this press conference going to be like? And it was obvious to me that there was no winning it. All that could have happened is that the media would have, they would have just sat there crucifying us, chip by chip by chip, if we gave any ground. And so I thought, you know what? It's time to go on the attack. I mean, it's time to go over the top of the trench, fix bayonets, and go hard at some commies. And that's what we did. And I have to say, I had a wonderfully fun time doing it. It was possibly the most amusing piece of performance art that I think is possible, political performance art that is possible to do, because all of that, and I'm telling you now, all of it, everyone is doing performance art when it comes to politics. Everyone. For example, some of the journalists that I was apparently angry with or mocked, one of them was absolutely triggered, and I'll find a photo of him later because that was funny. But the other ones really didn't care. They were just in it for the game. I mean, we just had chats afterwards. They were interviewing me, they were chatting with me afterwards. They had no skin in the game. They literally didn't care. They don't care. They do not care. So the question really is, why are they doing what they do? That's I think that's an important place to go. But anyway, I phoned up Dank and I was like, mate, we should effectively, if given the opportunity, just lay down 5 years worth of YouTube political debate on them and see what they say. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to do that, as you can see, because, man, I was ready with a big list of things that I was prepared to just hit them with, but we couldn't do that because we didn't have the opportunity. So we did what we could, but we had a good time doing it, and the photos are just so great. And the memes, dude, the memes have been beautiful. And the fear and loathing of the Westminster bubble. I'm not drunk. The fear and loathing of the Westminster bubble was palpable. They are not happy. And so, I honestly, it's the actual like events of it are quite difficult to remember. I imagine it's like when you're in some sort of intense fight. I haven't been in a fight for many years. But it's, you know, so I can't exactly remember the precise order of events, but I recall afterwards talking to the media, and they were, I mean, there were these interviews. I really don't think they're going to get aired because these guys were pissed. They were alternately pissed and fucking clueless. One guy was asking me from the BBC, and I hope I'll be able to get you the full recording. It's really funny because oh god, I can't remember the name of the website now. It's oh crap. There's a website on which you can rate businesses, and so I went on there and looked. The BBC had 88% 1 star. The ITV, which is another major channel, had 59%, I think, 1 star. And Channel 4 had 72% 1 star. So when the journalists put their hands up and said, "Hi, I'm from ITV," I'd say, "Oh, yeah, 72% 1 star, go on." BBC, 88% 1 star, go on. And they were not happy about it. Because the best bit about it was just like, that just shows that your opinions really don't matter, do they, guys? Your editorializing is really irrelevant, and you're not really reflective of the public at large, your opinions. I mean, this is not news, but it was just a lovely way of like rubbing in their faces. So anyway, after it was good fun, but have you noticed, and I'm seeing this everywhere, the headline, UKIP candidate refuses to apologise. UKIP candidate won't apologise. Now, if I were going to write the perfect headline for me, the headline that I think exemplifies exactly the strategy with which I am taking, it is one that would have said something like, UKIP candidate won't apologise. For example, this is the one from ITV News. Now this, literally, look at this. Me, just arms open, don't give a damn. Dankula, laughing his face off. UKIP candidate won't apologise. Now, I could not have written a more perfect headline with a more perfect picture. Couldn't have done it. I would love to have tried, but that is exactly what I would have written. There was another one from the Telegraph that I'll just find very quickly, since I'm on my Facebook page. That was absolutely glorious. And again, this was just, I mean, I'm wondering whether we have men on the inside. Right, right, so notice I was trending on Twitter with 1,855 tweets. That's not very many tweets. That's not national scandal. That's a very small scandal for a very small number of people. Isn't that interesting? Sorry, I will find this. Sorry, but I've posted quite a lot on my Facebook page, so suspended from Twitter, obviously. And there was a huge amount of stuff that was coming out that was just absolutely glorious. So yeah, this was the Telegraph. Look at that fucking picture. Batten laughing, Dank laughing, me smirking, don't give a shit. This was Oh god, this was so perfect. I can't get over. Yeah, someone, Jordan Morris, Dankula makes this photo perfect. Yeah, honestly, this was such a good photo. Just like we, I just can't get over it. This is exactly what I wanted to come out of this. And afterwards, I did an interview with a friend of mine called Lucy Brown. I'll get to Jess Phillips in a bit because she got chewed up on Twitter, absolutely chewed up. This was the thrust of what I said. I went out there initially, and I guess they haven't posted these videos. I haven't. I literally have not really been able to get on the net properly. But appearing on stage alongside Mr. Baden, Mr. Benjamin said of his Twitter comment, and again, like imagine this all being over a Twitter comment. This is staggering. Like 3 years ago, you said this on Twitter. Now the entire fucking press conference is going to be consumed by it. So I said, I'm not going to apologize. I said it a lot more loudly and brazenly than this. But I'm not going to apologize for my crimes against political correctness. I hate political correctness. I'm not answering your questions. I'm not apologizing for anything. You dirty, dirty smear merchants. I enjoyed saying that. Because it's so true. It is so absolutely true. Oh yeah, by the way, you're all neon Nazis now, just so you know. The alt-right hate me, which is exactly what the neon Nazis would say. Oh yeah, don't even talk to me about Jacob Rees-Mogg. So yeah, people were saying they couldn't hear what I was saying. This is what I said. I said, I think we should treat women the same as men. That means if a woman is going to be a giant bitch and laughing at male suicide, I'm going to be a giant dick back to her. Obviously, talking about Jess Phillips. And the Daily Mail headline, UKIP candidate says Jess Phillips is a giant bitch. It's like, okay, prove me wrong. Because the thing is, the question isn't, was it right for me to say that? Oh no, the question is she a giant bitch? And the thing is, the evidence is manifest. There is so much video evidence to testify to the fact that, yes, Jess Phillips is a giant bitch. But you know what? It's okay. I'm a giant dick. It's all right. We're not all perfect. And just because you're a bitch or a dick, and I want to make this really clear, right? Jess Phillips is not a bad person. And I know you might think, what? And I have actually, in the past, defended Jess Phillips from the radical, well, the even more radical, the really dirty SJW types. I've actually defended her from them. It's been a few years now, and I can't even remember what video it was in, but I remember doing it. V was telling me I'd done it. And so, isn't that interesting, right? Because you've got to remember about Jess Phillips, right? She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a sister, she's got friends and family, and, if you look at her Instagram, it's actually really normy, and you wouldn't think that she was some scheming feminist witch with, unironically, like a network of co-conspirators in the parliament, which is how she describes it in her book called The Sisterhood. You wouldn't think that she was that kind of person. And so I think it's important to understand that people have different aspects of their personality that manifest in different contexts. When I'm put in front of a hostile room and they're like, hey, we want you to back down, man, I ain't backing down. I'm just going to be a bigger dick than I was before. But obviously that's just in that context. And the thing with Jess is I think that when she was dealing with specifically a men's rights activist, that's when the worst aspects of her personality manifest as well. Because to be honest with you, I see a lot of myself in Jess Phillips, I think I understand how she works. Because I think in many ways I work in the same way. So I'm not angry at Jess Phillips, and I don't dislike her either. I don't think that she's just a terrible person. I think she has done bad things I consider bad. Obviously, she doesn't, and obviously that goes both ways to me myself. Oh yeah, her fans have been really fun. Apparently, I'm a fat, ugly pig of a supposed man. I feel very sorry for your girlfriend, wife. Snapchat filters have their benefits, I suppose. Does he think I met my wife on Snapchat? No doubt you have a tiny penis. 'Tis always the way, yeah. But I do have massive fucking balls. But where's the one I was looking for? I had a quick interview with my friend Lucy Brown. I'll play it very quickly for you.
And what do you think about this 3-year-old tweet that was brought up this week and used to batter you with? What do you think about that?
I wish I'd sent it yesterday. Never apologise. Never apologise. As soon as you apologise to them for anything, because they don't care. They don't care about a 3-year-old tweet. This is a political attack that they think will be able to stop my candidacy, and they failed to understand that I didn't work for Donald Trump. I don't see why it should work for me, and I'm not going to apologise. So they may as well get over it sooner rather than later. I mean, you're a woman. Are you horribly offended by it?
Look, man, I would appreciate if you didn't rape me.
Consider it done.
So yeah, that was good fun. That was when we were at the pub drinking afterwards. So obviously I looked drunk. But yeah, there was something else I was gonna. No, obviously I can't find it. Right. So yes, the whole thing was very, very. Sorry, I'll get the chat back up so I can see what you guys are saying. So yeah, the whole thing was very, very, very fun. But I find it really interesting that they have, for such a long time now, and so persistently, been demanding an apology for a 3-year-old tweet. It really makes you wonder why, right? And so let me explain to you how Westminster works, because I have been approached by many different people, some of them politicians or aides to politicians, not in UKIP, and they want to talk. And I've been learning how they work, and it's not very nice. So the politicians, when they're candidates, the media is very interested in candidates. They're very interested in stars, people who have, I suppose, what Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez had, star power, as Mr. Reagan put it, which is correct. She does. She absolutely does. And they like it because it generates some clicks. But they also like it when these people agree with them on a moral level, because the moral agenda, the sort of moral regime that the media imposes, is created by them. And so they feel like the guardians of it. They are the gatekeepers of the moral standards of the public morality as they believe it. And so it's really weird how, well, it would be really weird if you don't know this, right? But they know that the candidates need to be A, on their best behavior, and B, adhering to their moral standards. And so what they do to whip them in line, like very much like the party whip of a party actually, is essentially present them with the worst things they can find, obviously, and then browbeat them into public apologies. Now, for your average person, this is very easy to do, because the average person will say, yeah, well, that was a long time ago and I made a mistake. I'm really sorry. And that's easy. And then the media, you can see it in the journalists' faces. They settle down and they kind of, puff themselves up a little bit and go, right, we're the ones driving the agenda. We are, of course, the media. We are the fourth estate. We are the ones who, get to set the rules. But they can't do that to me, because I have you guys. I have this. And I can talk to you directly, and that's one of the reasons they hated Tommy so much, and they hate Dank so much. They'd hate PJW if he took any time to talk to them, but he literally just ignores media requests. He has no interest in talking to them. And this is how they maintain their grip on, I guess we would call it power over the Westminster bubble, but I don't think that, they definitely understand it to be such, but they think that their moral standards are a just course to editorialize and exclude or suppress viewpoints with which they do not agree. It's not. These people are still voters. They are still people who pay taxes. They still demand representation whether you like them or not. Hence me debating literally anyone, from the most radical communists to the most radical Nazis to anyone. ANCAPs, like name an ideology, name a worldview, and I'll probably have spoken to someone with it. Because I think it's interesting. I think it's important to at least have a space where we can talk to these people about their ideas. Because at the end of the day, no ideas are so bad that you can't deconstruct them. They're just not. But if your ideas are so bad that they are very easily deconstructed, if your bubble that you create, this kind of, and it is a bubble of sort of, I don't want to call it a safe space, but it's effectively like a moral safe space for a certain prescribed set of ideas and ideals. If that's penetrated by certain ideas and they're allowed to speak freely, then my goodness, the whole thing's pop, it's gone. Then they're left flailing. Then they lose their control and influence. And so when they pull out smear pieces, they walk around. Effectively, they're kind of like a prison guard who walks around and just occasionally whacks the leg of a prisoner just to make sure they're standing up straight or keep them in line. Ideological prison. That's a really great way of describing it, Low Res Boy. It is an ideological prison. And it means, and they are basically the enforcers of the Overton window. And they don't articulate it as such, but that's definitely how they see themselves. But the thing is, are they moral? That's the question. And I have to say, I really do not believe these people are particularly moral. It seems that they are all taking drugs. It seems that they do all kinds of sexual deviancy, which, hey, I'm a live and let live guy. I've got no problem with drugs or sexual deviancy. I don't care at all. But they care. They think it looks improper. So they do it behind closed doors. And then out front, because they're the media, they'll persecute anyone else. And so we come to the sort of point where I've decided that I don't really like London, at least the Westminster types. There are, now I'm not saying they're all like this, obviously, but the problem when you have a culture is that the culture demands conformity. You have to live in it day in and day out. If you want to get on with any of the people in there, if you work there, you have to live with it. But I know I don't even know what that is. But if you want to go, and you have to live in it. But I know that, and I know this because a lot of them contact me, that a lot of people are very dissatisfied with the current state of affairs. But because of these ideological enforcers, they can't actually say it. So they come to me and talk to me in private, and then offer me things and whatnot, and I just let them do what they want. I don't get involved. But I think if there's one thing that they've taught us, is that the Westminster bubble is actually deeply afraid of candidates who are outside of that bubble and standing for office, who simply don't care about their standards. Because I don't have to care about their standards. I have to care about your standards. You guys are the ones who maintain everything that I've got. You guys, I work for you. You are my employers. That's how I view this. I am accountable to you, and I consider you guys to be effectively the public. I don't, there are 7,500 people watching this. I don't know who you are. Obviously, I don't know who you are, but you do know that, well, you know me, and I know that you understand the kind of person that I am. I'm not going to put on a false front unless I'm presented with a room full of journalists, in which then I get to have some fun. Very Milo-ish in that way, actually. I've noticed that a lot of these people, right, all of these kind of ego constructs, they're very, London and this kind of environment attracts these people. And so it's fun to play the villain ego construct to theirs. But as soon as the public sort of veneer drops, everyone just drops their ego construct and their sort of moral. Oh, I'm the moral one, and that just goes. And they just talk to you like a normal person. And it's like, well, couldn't we have just done that from the start? Could we not have done that from the start? Mariusha, I do think it's a class issue, and I think it's also more sort of like they have nothing over me. They have no way of controlling my behavior, and that makes me very dangerous to the bubble itself, doesn't it? Because if the bubble is maintained by keeping everyone in line using the same sequence and set of rules, and I don't have to follow those rules, what next? What then is basically what that means is war. And man, today has been wild, absolutely wild. And it's really interesting how we got to this point. And it's definitely the standing for office that has got their goat, because they are like, well, hang on a second. I have done many speeches and rallies in London. I've done the Day for Freedom, the 2 Brexit betrayal rallies, Free Tommy, Free Dankula, I've given lots of speeches. I've stood in front of thousands of you. We've cheered, we've chanted, we've had a good time, but they didn't care. No mass smear campaigns. I've interviewed high-profile people from within it. You can literally have a list like James Dellingpole, Helen Dale, Brendan Fraser. All of these people. I've interviewed all of these people. Not a word. Not a peep. I have been in the Houses of Parliament and the Lords. I had dinner in the Lords. Nothing. Nobody cared. The politicians didn't care. No mass smear campaign, no feigned outrage, no virtue signalling on Twitter. But you stand for office and you tell the press that you will not bow to their moral authoritarianism, and they unleash the full force of their media machine. It really shows you where they feel their weak spots are. And it really shows you how power is concentrated in these areas. Now, what I'm going to be doing is getting out into the countryside. I'm going to be traveling around the West. And more importantly, Gibraltar, an overseas territory next to Spain, is part of my constituency. So I may well have to go there too. I mean, what kind of sense would that make if I didn't? But what other MEP candidates are going to do that? It's very interesting, isn't it? But that's just something to mull over. Who knows? But on the 22nd, I'll be in Swindon Town Centre with a stall and a microphone and a camera. And if any normies or Remainers or SJWs or anyone at all wants to come down and change my mind on UKIP, Brexit, social justice, whatever subject they want, I'll be around to talk. And I'll be doing something similar in almost every major city or town in the southwest. I'll, again, follow at Carl UKIP on Twitter, which it's my official campaign Twitter feed. I don't access it, obviously, because I'm not allowed, and I don't want it to get suspended. And you can tell that by the kinds of posts that are on it. Because that we'll be posting there the updates, the dates that we're going places, blah blah blah. So one of my favorite things, in fact, no, I will find that picture because it's just so gold that I have to share. In fact, I should probably have had it on the screen. And I will find this. Sorry, but yeah. So I'll be doing grassroots. I don't need the media. I'm not interested in courting the media or the London bubble at all, because they aren't the ones voting for me. They aren't the ones that I'm interested in persuading or impressing or anything like that. I'm going to be going around the south, door to door, with anyone who wants to volunteer to help me. I'll have some nice leaflets printed up soon, and I shall be actually doing the graft, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so let me find this. There we go. Look at that guy's face. This guy here, eyes wide open, head back. So he's literally like that fucking triggered picture wherever it is. And I'm just sat there going, no, no. And then this guy here, like, oh shit, we have absolutely nothing on this dude. Like I was speaking to this guy, and he was BBC, and I said to him, look, why do you platform communists? And he was like, well, I don't know. So okay, tell me the moral difference between a communist and a fascist. And he couldn't. And so what's the difference between you platforming a communist and a fascist if they appear to have no moral distinction to you? But more importantly, like, if you look at any BBC panel show, it's Remainer, one leaver, or one quote-unquote conservative, Labour, communist. You know, it's so blatant to see their biases. And all I did is call them on it. And then this chap was my absolute favourite. I wish I'd learned his name. I was sat there going, look, you guys don't watch my videos. You don't even know what I believe. And so angrily on camera, this guy starts shouting at me, yeah, I do. You're a liberal. You're for free speech. You're for individual rights. You're for free markets. And I was just like, thank you. Like, he's angrily berating me with my own set of principles. It's like, right, so you know I am not far right. Or, well, like a Nazi or whatever. I don't know what far right actually means, but you know I am not. like some collectivist authoritarian, which is what you're saying when you say you're alt-right or you're a Nazi or whatever it is. He literally preached my principles at me angrily. And I swear to God, I hope that this footage is released, because I'm going to clip that and put that as the intro to my channel. It was just glorious to watch. I was so happy with it. So yeah. And yeah, obviously loads of good memes came out of it. And yeah, go wild. I hope you're enjoying them. So sorry, I'll get to the super chats now, because I don't want to stay too late, because honestly, I've had hardly any sleep. But I wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on, and let you guys know what happened from my perspective. Also, I'll have the live show up, obviously, in the next few days. So lots of interesting content to come. The live show was really good fun. And again, I'm really sorry it wasn't the Corbyn one. There was just so much going on that I really, really, really had to kind of address some of this. Come on, why are you doing it? There we go. Yeah, I couldn't record the footage of the conversations with the press, because so much was happening, absolutely so much was happening. It was like, there was a lot of shouting, there was a lot of chaos, there was a lot of clapping, and every time we just told the media to get bent, right? Oh, this was glorious. Every time we told them to get bent, because it was like our supporters in the room mostly, not theirs, everyone just started bellowing, hand clap. There was one I think is it Alan? No, Agnew, someone Agnew. So I'm not very familiar with some of the old guard in UKIP, but this chap, he was in the Rhodesian army. I was like, mate, he should have come in his shorts. You know what I mean? He should have been like, no apologies. No apologies whatsoever. But he literally comes out and goes, right, there's a white genocide going on in South Africa. There is ethnic cleansing. And I just heard that, and I was like, shit, that's going to make the room go really quiet. So I took a step forward and just started hammering my hands together, clapping as hard as I could. And then Johnny picked it up, and then everyone in the room started cheering. And it's like, yes, exactly. We know what's happening in South Africa. The media just won't cover it. This is a problem that is a problem. Jesus, that's a polite way of describing it, isn't it? But this is something that is happening, and the media is simply not gonna cover it, and it's going to end badly if we don't at least have an opinion on it. Surely, how can we even think of challenging this if we can't even talk about it? And so, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, after all, the press essentially. They were just kind of stumped, There was nothing they could really do. And afterwards, man, all of the candidates came up to me and just shook my hand and said, thank you for what you did. Because what the problem was, because the first half of it was the sort of like core candidates, the proper ones, the professional ones who gave very eloquent speeches, very sensible speeches, and they were getting essentially ignored by the media, or they were going to be browbeaten by the media. And so me and Dank were kind of like a sword and shield against this, in their favor. We were the kind of lightning rods for this kind of PR damage, and I think it worked rather well. But again, we'll have to see. But anyway, let me get to those super chats. Glad to see you getting into the MEP thing. Good luck. Well, like all things, I don't want to be an MEP because I want to leave the European Union. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be an MEP anyway because I don't really want the responsibility of it. Because like I said, man, right, politics is gross. Politics is a really dirty game. And they have real trouble with people who just don't fit the mold. And this is another thing that like Helen Dale talks about. It's like, look, there is a right way in British politics to do things, and there is everything else. And I fall under everything else. But not only do I fall under everything else, I fall under the part of everything else that is openly hostile to the current order. And that makes me someone who is not very popular with certain people. Jess Phillips has threatened to sue you. Let her. She knows that what I said was true. And she knows this because loads and loads and loads of people were spamming the clip at her where she was doing it. Philip Davies is trying to table a motion to talk about various men's issues, male suicide being one of them. And Jess Phillips just laughs in his face and then blocks him herself. Just saying, Jess, the evidence seems to be out there. And also, even if that wasn't true, even if that was a lie, I don't think that's something you can sue me over. MSM, I wouldn't even read you. On to victory, down with the smear merchants. And I'm so glad I said this. Smear merchant is basically, I think, the most accurate term for them, because they literally are just smearing people and selling it to whoever will buy. Anyone who likes clickbait, I suppose. But I mean, imagine how weird it is. You're just some... I mean, like, you're just some guy. You get off the bus, you go into work, you pick up the paper, and you're like... Or you log onto whatever website, and you're like, here's someone you've never heard of before. Let me tell you why they're a bad person. It's like, okay, well, what do they think? Oh, you don't need to know that. We're not going to tell you what their philosophy is, what their policies are. This person sent a tweet, and we're angry about it. I mean, how fucking irrelevant do they think that is to the regular person's life? The average farm worker gets up, goes out, starts mucking out the pigs, gets a cup of tea, sits down, opens the paper. Here's a guy you shouldn't like. Who the fuck is this? Why should I care about his tweet? It's amazing that they just pop this up. Oh, by the way, here's someone you've never heard of. We don't like them. That's all they're saying. And then the size, the scale of the media smear campaign was amazing. Literally every single paper that I can think of in Britain has written, even my local one as well. They've written 4 now. I am becoming the Donald Trump of Swindon, or the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of Swindon, because they just can't stop talking about me, because they've realised, oh, that's clicks. It's like, okay. But I think it's, in fact, I happen to have Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals right here. And, man, I can tell that none of them have ever read this. But let me just find the rules. Because now I have to, right, just so you're aware, I've got a video on my channel, just in case you're new, that's called Rules for Radicals, an analysis or something like that. And I think you should probably read it, watch it, or read the book, because it is eminently important. Because as Saul Alinsky says in the beginning, now I know everyone's going to, he was a communist. Yeah, he was a communist, but he was also a tactician, right? And this is a manual of tactics. So, what does he say? Oh, I don't know where he says it. But basically he's saying, look, the prince is the manual for the powerful to maintain their power. And Rules for Radicals is the antonym to that, to help the powerless take their power away. And so I'm following this. So always remember the first rule of power tactics. Power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. The second rule is, and so that's interesting. So I don't know what they necessarily think I have, and in fact, I think they may be dramatically understating or underestimating. But maybe I'm underestimating them. Who knows? We'll find out. That's something I can't really identify at the moment, but we'll find out as we go along. The second rule is never go outside the experience of your people. I hope you guys are enjoying the memes, because I'm playing directly into the experience of you guys. Wherever possible, go outside the experience of the enemy. Well, they've never had a press conference like that before, have they? Here you want to cause confusion, fear, and a retreat. And I think that was quite successful. At the time, they did seem quite confused, worried, and they did seem to back off a lot. The fourth rule is make the enemy live up to their own book of rules. You can kill them with this. They can no more obey their own rules than the Christian church can live up to Christianity. That's a work in progress. The fifth rule is ridicule is man's most potent weapon. It is almost impossible to counterattack ridicule. You might want to check out my Instagram account as well. There have been some great clown memes of the journos. The sixth rule is a good tactic is one your people enjoy. I hope you're all enjoying the fireworks, folks. I hope you had a good time. The seventh rule is a tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. Now, this is an important one, and this is something that I think is important that you all understand. This won't happen again. I won't be doing anything quite this exciting in future. Now, what we have to do is return to sensible, incisive commentary. And frankly, I think strong statements of values and intent are the way to go in this regard. But what we now have to do is essentially make the media seem hysterical. And I looked at my wife, was looking at the Swindon Advertiser page, and people are now commenting saying, look, you're really milking this guy at this point. So now the story isn't even about me. The story is now about them. See how this works? Isn't that interesting? And they keep writing articles called Carl Benjamin Won't Apologize. UKIP candidate won't apologize. The messaging is very clear. UKIP are not the party to apologize for what they are and what they believe. That's important. The 8th rule, keep the pressure on with different tactics and actions and utilize all events of the period for your purpose. Well, precisely what I'm doing. I was supposed to be speaking at Exeter University. I sent them an email saying, I'm really sorry, I can't. The campaigning, we've got a month, about a month to do the campaigning, and there's a lot I've got to fit in. So I won't be able to do that. I sent them a message saying if they haven't already cancelled, I'd be happy to reschedule, obviously, sometime afterwards. But yeah, so now we're going to keep keeping the pressure on, and I'll be doing this tour of town centres and talking to people and seeing if we... And the thing is, I don't want these to be really angry conversations either. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be some furious Remainers who are going to be like, I can't believe you won't even apologise, to which I have a few responses prepared. But we'll be doing different things. And I think I will be travelling out to Gibraltar. And because I come from a forces background, I think that that'll be quite important, because when you're in the forces, you're raised in military schools. Not military schools, but like schools on military camps, sorry. The forces are where the patriotic people go. Where else are they going to go? Why wouldn't they? You know, this is the kind of thing that the forces do. You know, that's people join the forces because they love the country of which they're a part. And so when you're in forces schools, you don't get the kind of, or I didn't get the kind of Marxist self-flagellating education that apparently we get back in England. Because I was in Germany when I was getting my sort of formative education in my sort of teenage years. And, you know, we would read, oh God, I can't even remember the names of the World War One poets now. You know, what was it? If I die, then remember that wherever I'm buried, there is a piece of England, or something like that. And, you know, really beautiful stuff, but stuff that just went over my head when I was a kid. Stuff I just, you know, I didn't understand. I was just like, oh, whatever, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, I was, who cares? You know, I didn't pay any attention. But it's only it's only now that I realise the value of all of this. And I think this is where I gained my sort of love of country and the people in it. And I mean all the people, you know, just the people of Britain are good people. It's a good country with good people, good traditions. It used to have good laws, and good intentions. And that's why people wanted to come here from all over the world. You know, we had made ourselves safe and healthy and wealthy, and now we're a magnet to people who kind of hate us from within the country and out. So I think that's important, because this attitude that I suppose I would say forces brats, which is what everyone called us, have, is that every piece of territory that is British is sovereign. It is sovereign British territory. And I don't think that any other candidate is going to go over there and say the things that I'm going to say. And I think that the people in Gibraltar, being expats, as it were, part of the territories, because again, I was in Germany. I was in British territory in Germany. And it's a kind of mindset that you have over there, where you're very committed to the mother country, and it would be very, very annoying if some communist in the Labour Party were to say, well, I mean, if Spain were going to demand or if Argentina were going to demand, we'd probably have a negotiation on how to give it back to them. Oh, no. There will be no negotiating on that part from the perspective of UKIP at all. And I'm absolutely certain that every single member of UKIP would say that. It's absolutely not. And I think that will be quite interesting, because it'll be an unusual thing. You know, oh, look at this. The renegade YouTuber Sargon of Akkad goes to Gibraltar. That'll be newsworthy in itself, I think, because I don't think anyone else will go there. And so I'm going to look, you're voting for people who are never going to come and see you, who don't give a damn about you. You know, they're just expecting your votes. So, you know, you might want to consider why you vote for them. So ultimately, anyway, sorry, I'll get back to the super chats. If you can do me a favor and not send any more, please. I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything like that. I am eternally grateful that you guys keep me going. But I've just been working really, really, really hard. It's been really long days, loads of things to do, loads of people to meet, and I'm really shattered. But I couldn't sleep, and I wanted to give you guys an update. Oh, also, right, I've got some good news. I investigated who can donate to our crowdfunding. Let me just get the actual crowdfunder itself so I can show you how it's doing. Because, okay, so if there's one thing that UKIP need, it's donations. Obviously, from people in Britain is preferable. But if there is one thing that people need, UKIP need, it's donations. Because we are not a rich party. We do not have access to the sort of the thing that the Brexit Party has that we don't is Tories. We're not a Tory party. We're not the Conservatives 2.0. UKIP actually have a moral base, unlike the Conservative Party that have no moral base whatsoever, as far as I can tell. And as you can see, they need £250,000. They've raised 21,000, and it turns out that anyone can donate up to £500 without having to declare it, according to electoral law. So no matter where in the world you are, you can donate £500 up maximum if you like. Obviously, you can donate like a fiver or something if you want. Obviously, it would be better if people in Britain were doing this, but there is absolutely nothing legally that prevents anyone from helping out. So all I'm saying is I'll leave a link in the description to this, and if you happen to find yourself being sympathetic to our cause, which is sticking it to the man, in fact, I'll pin that to the comments now while I've got it to hand. Then please, by all means, feel free. None of this money will go to me, just so you know. I don't know if that's good or bad, but this is not money that I will be able to touch. It's party money. It will go to the party itself. There are 2 days left, apparently, and any money pledged to these and flexible funding, they'll receive all the pledges, so they'll get whatever it is you send. So, please do consider if you do feel like it, because we are going to get no help from the London bubble, because UKIP is not a London party. In fact, I would say it's the only party that is not a London party. Labour, Conservatives, Liberal Democrats, and the Brexit Party are all in the bubble. And that's why, when talking about UKIP, all of this media coverage, you will see a remarkable number of them say, well, and then Nigel Farage's nice shiny Brexit Party is actually really wonderful. Maybe you should vote for the Brexit Party. So, here we go. Now we have the establishment media promoting Nigel Farage. That's weird, isn't it? Really makes you think. Really gets that old noggin jogging. But anyway, so please let me carry on. So basically UKIP are actually like the only outsider party. Even the Greens are London. Are a sort of London party, and when I say that, I mean sort of like powerful cities. Like we've only got a few powerful southern cities, those sort of parties. But anyway, in US, dual citizens can go to Congress. Just for FYI, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm pro grape. Liberalists making the memes, yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. The liberalists are going to be. Any that want to contribute are going to be able to contribute. Good game, Carl. Screw the media. I know millennial Labour civil servants, and remember their pals slating Jess for transphobia. That was it. That was it. They really do eat their own. Yeah, and like I said, Jess Phillips is not what I would consider to be a bad person. She just has a mean streak in her, And like I said, I probably do too. We need a talented bloke to start writing. Oh, and by the way, right, this whole the Westminster stuff, I am never going to be like this. You can ask literally anyone who has had any kind of dealings with me. I pay my bills on time, I'm generous, and I operate exclusively on trust. I am not going to betray other people's trusts and confidences, and I expect the same in return. And as far as I'm aware, no one that I have worked with or have been sympathetic to has actually ever betrayed me either. Because I don't really do anything that you could betray me over. I'm pretty open about everything I'm doing. But Oh, sorry, I forgot to finish these Alinsky rules, which I'll quickly do. The ninth rule is the threat is usually more terrifying than the thing itself. Not in this case, but I'll make that. I'll remember that. The 10th rule, and this is where it starts getting really important. The major premise for tactics is the development of operations that will maintain a constant pressure upon the opposition. Right, that's where you guys come in. You guys need to figure out if you would, and if you want to join me in waging this guerrilla campaign against the London bubble, is just make sure that they're aware that you're there. That's all I'm saying. Meme magic is a thing. It works. And they're very sensitive in some areas, so don't feel that you can't push any buttons. This, I think, is the single most important rule. The 11th rule is, if you push a negative hard and deep enough, it will break through to its counterside. Now, that's Donald Trump's build a wall right there. And I think it'll be my I won't even apologize to you as well. I think that if I push that hard enough and deep enough, that will become a virtue that people will look to if the media go hard enough at me. So that's what I'm doing there with the... and that's why them printing, UKIP candidate says he won't apologise. Man, I would have written that. Like, that's exactly what I want people to think. So the 12th rule is the price of a successful attack is a constructive alternative, and I think that I've got that pretty nailed down. I think I can. I mean, my sort of pattern, my stream of consciousness when it comes to describing what I want, I think is pretty on point at the moment. I think I'm pretty good at rolling it out at a moment's notice whenever needed. So I'm pretty sure I've got that down. And this was the most fun one to do. The 13th rule. Alinsky's 13th rule is the legendary rule that the Republicans hate so much. But guys, you can do these things too. You just have to be a dick. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. That's why I called Jess Phillips a gigantic bitch. This is all about her, so I picked the target. Oh, I didn't get to pick the target, but the target presented itself. Freezed it, personalized it. Me and her, she's a bitch and I'm a dick, and I polarized it. So now the question is Jess Phillips a gigantic bitch? Obviously. Like, no one's saying that she's not a gigantic bitch. Even people who like her would say, well, she can obviously be a bitch sometimes. And I bet there are so many women who are watching her thinking, yeah, she was clearly one of the mean girls at school when she wanted to be. When she was in the lunchroom, when she was, struggling for status among the gaggle of girls who hang out on one particular table. She was the one who was kicking the other girls out of the group, in my opinion. And I was always the guy who was part of the groups of women, and part of the groups of like nerdy guys who the women who were exiled from these groups would come and hang out with, and they would always tell us, oh, I much prefer hanging out with guys. They're just not mean to me. We would hang out with those women because the cool kids, the cool girls, the mean girls, we didn't want to be part of their group. We weren't the fucking athletes. We were the D&D players, but that meant we were nice people. We were actually kind to those girls. We didn't hurt them. We didn't try and do anything malicious and damage their social status or anything like that. But yeah. So just so you know, that's I'm going to follow Alinsky's rules for radicals until I've done some. Seriously annoying things to the Westminster bubble. And the best bit about running, and I honestly, I really do not mind if I win, if I lose. I do mind if I win, but I think if I win, then I will do the job to the best of my ability. But I don't mind if I don't win, because the platform of running or standing itself is gold. It's more than enough. But anyway, my nan was so proud of you. She joined UKIP. Thank you, Charm Superior. And say hi to your nan for me, dude. America. That's a good Ron Swanson background as well. I PM'd you on Discord. Please read. I will McCarthy's List. Keep doing what you're doing. Serves guarantee citizenship. Yes, sir. In July 2018, the Independent reported the Brexit campaign colluded illegally with Believe to bust the referendum spending limits. Your response? It's a corrupt bubble, man. It's a corrupt bubble. I just made my videos. I was never part of any of these campaigns because, I'm an evil far-right neo-Nazi or something. So, neon-Nazi, sorry. Neon-Nazis, I love it. So, I don't know anything about that. Obviously, they shouldn't have colluded illegally. What do you want me to say? I'm Scottish. I'm a minority. Give me free shit. Yeah. All right, David Lammy. Literally, he said, I'm a minority, as if this gave him some power. It's amazing. Also, aren't AFD in trouble for taking donations from outside the EU? I'd look into that. Well, I don't know about AFD, but I don't know about Germany's financing rules. But up to £500 can come from anywhere and you don't have to declare it. Because £500 is not a lot of money. You know, I mean, for an individual, it sounds like a lot of money. But for a political party, it's nothing. I mean, you know, they raise millions, the major parties, and millions, untold numbers, millions. And Nigel's part of the sort of Tory establishment as well. He was a Tory when he was younger and then founded UKIP and then left it because, well, he kind of forgot his principles in a few ways. But I mean, I don't begrudge him. I just hope he gets Brexit. I hope he gets Brexit. I don't think he will, but because the Conservative Party is obviously going to collapse. The Brexit Party will take over, but we'll have 5 years of Labour, and that's bad. Like, that's not good. And because the Brexit Party, I don't think they're going to be standing MPs. I think they're just standing MEPs. And I think it does kind of, in a way, look like it's a vehicle for Farage, because it doesn't actually have a membership. It has subscribers. Now, that means that they can pay like £5 and be on a mailing list, but they don't join the party. They don't get to vote. And it all looks a little bit sus in that regard. I guess it could be run. It could only be run like a dictatorship. But, you know, Farage is a very popular man, as he's earned, and I mean, I'm still a fan. I still love watching him demolish the Remainers. So, I don't mind that he's turned into a kind of one-dimensional crusader. I think there's probably a need for that. But anyway, will a future PM Sargon still play video games? Well, yeah, but I'll never be PM. That's ridiculous. I doubt that I'm never even going to be an MEP, but I will still play video games. It's how I unwind. It's how I relax. I'm voting for the Monster Raving Loony Party. Honestly, vote UKIP, mate. Just fuck it. Just fuck it. It's time. It's time. If you and this honestly, oh god, right, okay. I'm going to tell you a story. After the venue, after we went to the pub after the live event, and I honestly, I'm not making this up. Right, there were 4 witnesses to this story. Me, Callum. I think it was, me, Callum, and then 2 chaps who were trying to talk to us about Bitcoin. This kid, he must have been like 20. He's skinny, smooth-faced. He was just walking on by. He was just walking down the road. And he saw me and said, "Hey, do I recognize you from YouTube?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, probably. How's it going?" He was like, "Hi, yeah." And then he started having a conversation with me. And I can't remember exactly how we got to it, but very, very early on into the conversation, I was a bit drunk, but very early on into the conversation, I, for some reason, needed to say, I think that the idea of Britain is a good thing. And he literally just blinked and looked back and said, "No, it's not." And I was just like, and then I blinked and looked back. I was like, "What?" He was like, "No, Britain's terrible. It's done all of these awful things all through history." And I was just like, "Well, what's the alternative? Who hasn't?" And he was like, "Well," and then he started getting stumped, because then he couldn't articulate that what he was doing is comparing Britain to perfection. And it's like, well, okay, my country's good, but it's not perfect, and certainly wasn't perfect throughout history. So, I think perfection is an unrealistic standard. Let's just compare it to what else we have. And by that point, he was like, "Oh, well, that means everything's terrible then." It's like, oh my god, dude, just because a thing has some bad aspects to it, like. In fact, Jess Phillips is a great example. Just because a thing has certain bad aspects, and myself as well, does not mean the entire thing is bad. I'm not going to say that Jess Phillips is a terrible mum. She's probably not. She's probably a wonderful mum. She probably loves her kids, So I would never turn around and say, "Oh, Jess is a terrible mum." I don't know anything about parenting. I don't want to know anything about parenting. But I wouldn't condemn her entirely on like that. And I think that the same standard should go for when judging, the history of a nation. And just in principle is the idea of Britain, the United Kingdom, with the sort of the liberal traditions that we have and the values that we created and expounded and exported to the world. Is that a good thing? And the answer is obvious and undeniable yes. It's obviously a good thing. There's no question of it. It is just a good thing that Britain exists. And therefore, leaving the EU is a very necessary thing, because they will end what we know as Britain and make it very much continental. And I'm not saying it's not a good thing that they exist. I'm just saying it's a good thing that both things exist. And they should. Well, apart from the European Union. Obviously, Germany, France, France, Italy, Netherlands, these are all good. This is another fact. This is another sort of product of forces raising. I think I've been thinking about this a lot for the past couple of days, and I think that because of the wars, there's a deep suspicion of German governance in the British military, rightfully so, and it's quite funny calling anyone from Britain a Nazi in that regard because. And Dank came up with this, and it was a really good way of putting it. He was like, I think that anyone who thinks they should have total control of my life deserves a bullet. And it's like, well, obviously we're not going to do anything like that. But in principle, that's a Nazi who's saying I want to take over. And yes, I would have to resist that. If the Nazis were actually invading and they wanted to take over things, yeah, you've got to resist that, you know. And in principle, that is a true statement, I think. Obviously, you know, don't do any violence. We are Democrats, blah, 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 blah. You know, you guys all know that, but I have to say that just in case it's not fucking clear enough. You know, we are not looking for violence. We can change to the ballot box. We just have to be cunning. Anyway, so please don't say any more, because it's 12:30 already, you know. Best of luck from the rural area of state of Missouri. May your way of character be contagious and spread far and fast. I hope so. Behold Corbyn's grey beard and see your future. Oh man, I know. It's stressful and everyone's gross. Thanks, Simon. I appreciate it, man. Have you looked into the Australian Liberal Democrats? They seem to be like the UKIP, but in Australia. All hail the Glow Cloud Service guaranteed citizenship. I haven't looked into them. I don't follow Australian politics, I'm afraid. I've got too much going on. Have I read Reflections on Violence by George Sorel? He was very influential among anarchists. This kid was an anarchist, by the way. But he didn't. He literally thought I was going to be pro locking up Julian Assange, and I had to pull out my phone and show him the video. I said that the video I did called "Assange is a Hero." He was like, "Well, how is that?" And I'm like, "I'm for an accountable state. You know, it should be transparent." But anyway, very influential amongst anarchists, socialists, and fascists in post-World War I political advocates, i.e., Lenin, Mussolini. I have not read that, but I will put that in my browser because that seems like a very good investment. Thank you very much. Why do Remainers hate freedom? Because they're moral serfs. They don't want to be the ones who are in charge of their own destinies, because if they're in charge of their own destinies, who's responsible when things go wrong? I wish we had a Sargon in New Zealand. Good luck. I'll vote for you, sausage. Thanks, John. I'm glad you're not arrested for your tweet. Honk honk. Right, yeah, so apparently 3 years ago, the police came and gave me a knock about that tweet. I don't remember that. Now, I'm not saying they didn't do it. I'm just saying I don't remember it because it was 3 years ago. And I don't know what the conversation was or anything like that. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what, I don't know what was said. I just don't remember that happening. I'm not saying it didn't happen though. Thanks, Harry Callahan, root for you, Sargon from Austin, Texas, USA. Carry on, mate. Keep America great again, I think. I think that's it. Artists for Brexit really want to interview you. Well, okay. I will give Callum. In fact, I will give Callum that a copy of that. So, yeah. I sorry about that. Free from YouTube. Why not? Oh, thank you very much, Julian. Thank you for that $2. Mako's Gaming. Thank you very much. Communism is the very definition of failure. I love the fact that in my Discord, the bot that zaps everything is called Liberty Prime. Screw the media. Oh no, I've read that one, sorry. We need a talented blokes to start writing a traditional ballad, something to be sung in pubs. Sour barons in Brussels, theft of rights, cheeky memes, a hero from something, etc. Oh god, don't get people started. Rocker, you son of a bitch. He's already done something like that. And man, I really did just want to play video games. I still do just want to play video games. I'll probably play a video game like for 5-10 minutes just before I go to bed after this. Because I haven't, for like 3 days, I haven't been able to play anything. In the name of our Saviour, happy Good Friday. Oh, thank you. I didn't even know. But thank you for the New Zealand bucks. Now you need to get someone from the press to come on a live stream. Get them on your turf, imply you'll give them an exclusive apology or something. Well, that's a very, very, very interesting idea. I'll consider it. But the thing is, this is the thing, right? They don't like going outside their bubble because they know they're not in control. They like to be in control. And that's why I think that's it. I think that's the reason why they generally don't. There's no particular advantage to them for it, and they're not in control of the space, and so they get very skittish. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Andrew. Most definitely enjoying the fireworks. Well, good. Good. Which rule was that again? That was good tactic is one your people enjoy. Yeah, so that's the 6th rule and the 7th thing. Because that's the thing. I'm only going to do these things once, you know. Wearing my garbage human t-shirt that you signed at MythCon to the bar tonight. Eat your heart out, boys. White hot peppers. Thank you, dude. I will put up another group of t-shirts. I've had a lot of requests for previous runs that I haven't had run again, as like exclusives and stuff. Because like I like the idea that because you know people are like, oh, you haven't got any t-shirts in your merch store and all that. It's like, yeah, I know, but I like the idea of them being exclusive. You know, it feels like kind of a secret club or something, doesn't it? You know, it's not for everyone. It's not all the time. It's for the people who are with us and paying attention. Thank you, Laser Shark. Solid Slug. Is this an unironic Gamers Rise Up moment? Gamers Rise Up. Yeah. Yes. Well, kind of, I guess. What do you want me to say? You know, we're going over the top, lads. Blow the whistle. Fucking fix the bayonets. This is it. Over the top. Into no man's land to engage the media in a press conference. It's the way it works, and it honestly it really does feel like a battle. You racist pig. But Sargon, I thought Teal Dira said your joining UKIP and whatnot was a hollow gesture. Why are you out here making a difference and doing good? Well, we don't know I'm doing good. Yeah, I mean, I might kill UKIP, might I? Who knows? But either way, the press certainly are going to keep talking about me, I think. And I think that's an important thing. It worked for Donald Trump. It's working for Cortez. At least it's making her, like, notorious. So, and I think that I'm putting forward really solid statements of values. So I think a lot of people in UKIP will agree with. I think that I'm doing some good. I do hope so. Once there is a UKIP majority, I doubt there will be. Would you propose retaking Africa and Asia for the crown? No. Deportations can be kept within the state then? No. Thanks again, Laser Shark. If you're elected, will you address the European Parliament as the Reichstag of the Fourth Reich in your first speech? That's a good idea. But I mean, honestly, right? So you may or may not have seen Yanis Korwin-Mikke, the man, the meme, the legend, standing in Parliament saying that the minimum wage was first introduced by JFK in order to protect northern workers with their high wages from competition from the low-wage freed blacks, or not freed, the blacks who had been under Jim Crow, preventing them from effectively taking their jobs and lowering their wages, damaging their earnings. And so he ended up saying 4 million N-words on the EU Parliament floor, deliberately to piss them all off. And man, their faces. Because everything's being translated into like 30 different languages, which is, again, just one of those sort of like bureaucratic bullshit of the EU. Everything's got to be in everyone's individual language. So it's like, look, this is obviously an incompatible thing. Like in America, everyone speaks English. You have one unified language for all the states. Makes sense. In Europe, we don't have that. And so it's there's this delay while the translators obviously got to that, and everyone's face is like, whoa. And the ones that speak English got it immediately, and literally their fucking faces. And you could tell he was having a good time. It was really, really good to watch. I definitely recommend you, because it's just the shock of it. It's so funny. Progressive Voice already has a Sargon makes MEPs leave UKIP vid up, lol. Finish The Prince, any other similar works you'd recommend? Well, I'd definitely recommend Rules for Radicals. Yeah, the MEPs who left UKIP are MEPs for about a month. And now that they've left UKIP, they're not going to be nominated. And the reason they've left UKIP is because they weren't nominated. That's it. They weren't selected for nomination. So their time was up. So them joining anything else is a hollow gesture, because they're only going to be any MEPs for another month. Just about the only thing I value more than my own freedom is ensuring the same freedoms for someone else, and you guys are fast losing them, dude. All I read in like any American analysis of free speech in the UK, they always say something, and it's not, professional one. They always say something like this: well, Britain does not have free speech as we would understand it. It's like, okay, so we don't have free speech. That's what you're saying. We do not have free speech, and I agree. Thanks, the Brockfist service does guarantee citizenship. Elliot, I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I will try and stop giving you erections. Ben Brickle, Sargon, live in a town where the sun is hot, the moon is beautiful, and the mysterious light pass overhead while we all pretend to sleep. Please come to Night Vale. I've never even heard of it. I'll Google it, I suppose. Is this some sort of meme? It is. I don't know what that is. It's a radio show, apparently. Shame the corporate media every chance you get. Yeah, I do, and that's what I was doing. Did you see Jess Phillips mentioning her lawyers in the tweet about it yet? Yes, she was very angry. She was like, whenever this man is mentioned, it'll be about me. And I'm like, whoo, talk about ego on this woman. Christ, Jess. Legendary workman, keep it up. Also, just a brief change of subject. Have you seen Boogie 2988's new teeth? I kid you not, the man looks 20 years younger. I have not, but good for him. I hope he's doing well losing weight too. Oh yeah, guess what I had for lunch today? I had a steak, because that's just protein. You can have steaks. And a salad. Everyone else around me is eating fries and chips, like with cheese on and mountains of salt and vinegar. And I'm just smelling this all around me. I'm like, oh God, that sounds so good. But I instead ate leaves. I ate lettuce, I ate tomatoes, and I hate myself. In East Cornwall today has been amazing. The media have lost it. It's actually hilarious. You've got my support service guarantees citizenship. Thank you. I can't pronounce that name because it's foreign. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll be down in Cornwall. I'll be down in Cornwall in a few months. I'll again at Carl UKIP. I'll put all the dates up in the next day or two. It won't be long. And also, we're going to get banners across the A38. I think it is. So it's gonna be full spectrum when we start it. And it's just fun. It's just really fun to do. Like all this sort of stuff. Glad to see you getting the MEP thing. Good luck. Thank you. Yeah, she's saying Sue. I know. Thank you very much. MSM, I wouldn't even read you. On to victory. Down with the smear merchants. Bought you a rare signed copy of Philosopher Emerson to give you way back in Scarborough as a thank you. Couldn't send before leave at Swindon Post Office. Oh, God. I need to get a P.O. box, don't I? I need to get a P.O. box. Sorry. You can find some unique clips of the event on Metro. Dirty Smear Merchants. Well, I'll see if I can find that. Let me, fuck it. I'll have to go through a bunch of stuff. I'll find it later. What I'll do also is leave a clip to V's video in the comments as well. I wouldn't even super chat you. Oh, you liar, Andrew. My dude, you represent more people than you think. I hope so. Demand they give you an example of moderate right. I will do. I've been demanding that they give me an example of far right, frankly. But I mean, David Lammy is calling Jacob Rees-Mogg the new super Hitler, then, I mean, And the worst part was, Michael Heseltine, who's a conservative lord, and has been a conservative his entire political career, I think, just came out and said, yeah, David Lammy's right. Jacob Rees-Mogg and the European Research Group are super Nazis. And say, the Tories do not have moral principles of their own. They have Labour's moral principles. They just drive at the speed limit. Good luck from Kazakhstan. Thank you very much. Would someone please let me register as a resident in the UK until the elections are over? I can't vote UKIP as a European unless I reside in Britain. I'm afraid I can't help you there, man. Here's an Andrew Jackson. May Spirit guide you in beating these people down the Parliament steps and get them out. Well, I won't be coming for our Parliament, at least not yet. But good luck. You're a knight fighting for the sovereignty of the country. Much love from the USA. Thank you, my dude. And it's always nice to remind Americans that they're actually Englishmen, the original Englishmen, really now, because these things have changed. Mesopotamian manlet for MEP. Oi, son of a bitch. Although I tell you what, man, it is a pain in the ass having to pose next to someone for a selfie or whatever who's 6'5" or something. It's like, oh, son of a bitch. But you can't get them to kneel down because that's condescending. Been living in Christchurch for a decade. Things aren't as bad here as they've been portrayed by the media. Contact the New Zealand Free Speech Coalition. Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. The media is definitely portraying it as you going full fascist, though. It's quite scary. Hey, just be careful. I will be careful. I'll be polite and friendly when I'm talking to people, I promise. I'm not angry with regular people. They're not the media. The media know what they're doing, and they're doing it deliberately. It's entirely calculated, and I'm sure they know exactly what they're doing. Sargon has become Demosthenes from Ender's Game. No, I've become Demosthenes from Athens. Like the original Demosthenes did exactly what I'm doing. He literally was saying, look, there is something bad coming, you should listen. And the Athenian nobles, the aristocrats, said, no, everything seems to be fine, we think everything's fine, you're a bad person, Demosthenes. And Demosthenes was like, no, listen, Philip is coming. Problems are coming. Things are going to change. And lo and behold, Philip of Macedon ended up conquering Athens, conquering everything apart from Sparta. So yeah, I mean, I'm just warning them what's coming down the pipeline. Thank you, Terence. Big Kev, sexy man. Sigh. Sargon wouldn't rape me either. Man, there is literally no one that I would. It's really, I've got a very hardline stance on this. I can see why the male feminists are so offended. You need to show these people off. You must win. I'll do my best. Have some free money, thank you. I'm speaking truth to power. As a politician, your job is to give us things. We want This Week in Stupid as a human right. I'm sorry. Oh God, Jeremy Corbyn has found my YouTube channel. I'll try and see what I can do. Again, I've just been insanely busy, and I'm going to be traveling a lot in the next in the next month. I'm going to be hitting a lot of places, and so I can't make any promises. Sorry. But well, once this all settled down, I think I can do like the hour live stream a week. I think I can do that once it's all settled down. This is the best bit, right? Imagine being the Right Honourable Jess Phillips, elected MP, sitting MP for Birmingham Yardley for like the last 5 years or 7 years or whatever, feuding with a YouTube shitlord. I'll sue you. All right, Jess. Thanks for legitimizing me. And that's what really the whole tweet was about. It was about them to get them to recognize that there was principled opposition to whatever feminist nonsense that they were doing at the time that they couldn't just ignore. Because that makes me a political sort of node on their map of the world. Now I'm an actor who's moving around and doing things that they have to account for. And Jess is acting like I am her equal in this regard. I mean, she's desperately saying, well, I'm better than you. It's like, well, we're still peers though, aren't we? You know, one peer may be superior to another, but you recognize one another for what you are. And now we're here. Because it used to be that I just got blocked. It used to be that I got ignored. And then I was mocked by Jess Phillips in the Parliament like 2 years ago for living in Swindon. She was like, oh, he lives in Swindon. And all these feminist critics were like, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, okay, for a start, Swindon's a great place, right? It's got great people in it. They're really sensible. They're really hardworking. And they're really funny. They've got great sense of humours. They're really chilled out. This is why I don't leave. The people here are decent. You know, they're good, solid, stolid people, right? Get on with their lives and they just get on, right? Laughing at the fact that, I mean, Swindon, because there's nothing, it's not like a place of high culture, but the people themselves are decent. And secondly, Jess, you're the MP for Birmingham Yardley, mate. You know, it's not like you're the MP for Oxford or something, or Cambridge. You know, you don't have like the sort of high class area yourself, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Birmingham Yardley, there isn't, but it doesn't have the same sort of reputation that you're kind of trying to lay claim to. That's all I'm saying. Now, I mean, you know, you might have thought that Justin Tomlinson, the Conservative MP, would have said, hey, Jess, don't laugh at my constituency, but, you know, he didn't, so never mind. Douglas Murray said a Labour politician spent an interview calling him an Islamophobe. When the cameras were off, he said, never forget, Douglas, we're all with you. Two-Face doesn't cover it. Yep. No, honestly, I mean, none of them said we're all with you. But I have a nice story from when I was walking around Parliament, by the way. This is great. I love telling you guys these stories, because otherwise I figure I'll probably forget them in a day or two. And, you know, it will have been a nice event that has escaped my memory and is gone forever. So I'm walking through Parliament, and there are we're on tours there, because Parliament's suspended at the moment, so we're on tours. And there was a chap who was very well dressed, very, very smart looking, who came up and said, oh, I'm a massive fan, thank you. I was like, oh, thank you very much. And then walking around, and he had quite an upper class accent, but it was just a quick handshake. And I've got some great photos as well. And there was another chap who's a security guard. Now, I'm obviously not going to dob him in or anything, but he was a working class man. And he spotted me. He said, Sargon. I said, hello. He said, it's a pleasure to meet you, even if we have some disagreements. I said, oh, okay, well, tell me about your disagreements. And the rest of the group sort of wandered on a bit. And I was talking to him. He said, well, you know, I'm one of the old Labour types. And I was that's a Benite. And I just leaned in and said, because he's not allowed to talk politics. That's the thing. He's meant to stay politically neutral. All of them are. All of our institutions and the people in them are meant to be publicly politically neutral. But he obviously couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk to me, because when else was I going to see him, And he was like, very much like the work you do against the new radical left. And I said, well, honestly, some of the best Brexit commentary you can listen to is Tony Benn explaining from principle why the EU is a bad thing. And this is why Corbyn is such a disappointment to me. Like, at the end of the day, okay, he's a stupid commie, but he's not like, he's not actually a Stalinist. He just is an idiot, who has those sympathies, but he's not actually he's still British, he is still going to be democratic, even if he has these leanings. But the SJWs aren't. They repudiate the idea of Britishness. They find it oppressive. They think it's evil. And it was talking to this guy. It was a lovely conversation I had with this guy. It was a really nice, and I love the fact he was like, you're a liberal. You're my arch enemy. I was like, I know. And you're a socialist. You're my arch enemy. But that doesn't mean I can't respect you. And he said the same thing. I was like, this is lovely, actually. And yeah, what was I going to say? But no, it was a really lovely conversation. And one thing I realized from it is that there is a difference between the British sort of traditional socialists and the SJWs. And when I say SJWs, I don't mean people with blue hair. I mean the trans activists, the intersectional feminists, the Black Lives Matter activists, and these can come in all shapes and sizes, all ages, all levels of profession. You know the kind I'm talking about. The authoritarians, not that the other ones aren't, but but they come from a position. The old school socialists come from a position where they don't fundamentally hate Britain, and I think this really is the core of how to push all of this forward. This is the point of conflict that we will win on. Right? Is Britain a good idea? The old schools, the socialist who saw me, he'll say yes, 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 1,000 times yes. This is a good country, but I think it could be made better in this way. And I will say, this is a good country, but I think it could be made better in a different way. The social justice warrior will say, this is an evil country. The British Empire was it was just all negative, like the anarchists said. It's all evil. That makes Britain an evil country, an evil white supremacist capitalist patriarchy that's just oppressing everyone around the world. This is evil and has to be taken down and destroyed. And that's how I will find myself on the same side as high Tories. The liberals will join the high Tories and the socialists in order to effectively save the country. And that's the sort of broad church that I think UKIP will eventually end up drawing in, because if we can continue to really jam that point, is Britain a good idea? And honestly, if you can get this on Twitter, get this in everyone's mentions, ask politicians. Just ask them, do you think that Britain fundamentally is a good idea? Get all of the sort of like Labour lefties, the Greens, the Lib Dems, all of those. Get them to declare it. Demand that they declare. Do you think Britain is a good idea? Yes or no? And let's rout out the people, expose the people who genuinely think it's not. And, the people writing for The Independent who write, oh, Britain should apologise and be ashamed for the British Empire. No. We will not be apologising for the British Empire. We will not be ashamed of the British Empire, for we are not Germans. Consider my doubloons a small campaign contribution, thank you. You're a better man than me? Oh, I doubt it. I'd want it to burn it all and start again. Commonwealth governments are fat, slow and useless. Well, all government is fat, slow and useless, really. This guarantees citizenship, honk honk. It does, Kaiser. Not your business, thank you very much. Thank you, Commander Lorne Fraham and Tim Cook. If you're elected MEP, will you start making This Week in Stupid European Parliament edition? Hell yeah. I'll do streams like this where I'm just talking to you and like explaining what's happened as a recap of what I've been doing. Because I like keeping you guys informed. I think it's important that you guys know what I'm up to and why I'm up to it. I'm a supporter. That's all you need to know. Thank you very much, Thomas. PewDiePie will rise again. Well, now isn't that interesting? Gloria Borger. There's been a lot of coverage of a certain internet shitlord who has defended you in the past that you referenced in your defense of yourself to the Wall Street Journal. Is there any chance that maybe this humble meme farmer, this gentle shitlord, might warrant a mention? They really hate your working class background. Yeah, it's my accent. I mean, no, actually, it's not true, right? They do hate my working class background. They hate the fact that I come from outside of the existing, like the Etonian, Cambridge, Oxford, that sort of structure. They do hate that, but they also hate that I'm well read and I educated myself and I know what the problems are. They hate that too, and it's the same with Tommy in regards to grooming gangs and prison radicalization and all this sort of stuff, and terrorism. It's, you know, he knew from first-hand experience and from study, and he wasn't one of them, and so he has to go. He has to be excised. Jim Shepherd, thank you very much, chap. Ave Imperator. Thank you, Daniel. Burn the babies? What the fuck are you talking about? Incredible. What? Burn what babies? No, we're not burning any babies. Come on. That must be something else that I'm not really... I can't remember now. That must have been a meme. Compass Rose. Hey, man. How you doing? I hope you're sticking to your salads too, dude. Come on. If we're both doing the job, don't let me down. First, they will come for our borders. Then they will come for our barns and nobles. Yeah. But they will come for the borders. And I mean, they are in America. In America, there are a lot more open borders, like loons, than there are here. We just have open borders. Much love and good wishes from New York, USA, big man. Thank you very much. I'll be over in the USA later in the year, so I'll make sure I let people know where I am. Patrick Zucchini, thank you very much. I do just want to still play video games. Matt Bailey. Fight globalism, fight communism, honk honk. What's the difference? One of my favorite YouTubers is a guy called Academic Agent, and we're friends, and I really like him on a personal level. And what I love about him is he's very quick to call everything communism. He's very. I mean, you know, we tease him by calling him ANCAP Agent. He's a classical liberal, but he's getting really sort of we need a name for the pill, sort of just some sort of woke pill on the limits of state interference in society, and so the other day he was like, yeah. We were on a stream and he was basically, if I recall correctly, it was something along the lines of, well, Margaret Thatcher bailed out certain businesses. So Margaret Thatcher was also a socialist. And I cracked up because she was not a socialist. She was neoliberal, a Keynesian, I think. And so, although she was a fan of Hayek as well. She used to carry a copy of the Constitution of Liberty around with her. So it's interesting how, and it's just amusing how he can basically establish, he's like Mises. He's genuinely like Mises. Like me, there was one time when Mises, Hayek, and Friedman were having a meeting, and they were talking about, you know, UBI or something like that, and Hayek and Friedman were obviously, you know, thinking, well, considering maybe, you know, it depends on the economic system, you know, and Mises just stood up and was like, right, you're all a bunch of goddamn socialists, and marches out. And he's at that point. He's at the Mises. He's had the Mises pill. Jerry, you know, we'll do another hangout sometime, man. It's always good fun, man. Epic Gamer, honk honk. Slap that political correctness. Slap it real good. Yeah, man. I'm an anti-political correctness, political entertainer and activist. It's amazing to me. And this is another thing, right? So one of the journalists literally thought they had obviously had a mole in our live show, right? And they'd come there, and we think we know who it was as well. And they seemed to be enjoying the show, but they pulled out a couple of Dank's jokes and tried to throw them at Jared Batten. And Batten was just like, "What's this?" And Dank was like, "It was our comedy show yesterday." And Batten was just like, "Are you asking me about these jokes from a comedy show, whether I agree with these or not?" And it was laughable. It's like, when you can't hold a politician accountable for jokes in a comedy show, that's the dumbest thing in the world. It's like, this is how arrogant these people are. This is so silly. Like, outside of the bubble, it looks ridiculous. It just looks ridiculous. How's it? Yes, Sniper Dave. Had a great time on the live show. Thanks for coming, man. You weren't kidding when you said today was going to be great. The clip I saw of the press conference was A+. I just want to let you know, like, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I've just had a message from an old mate of mine called Phil. Phil, mate, how are you doing? I hope you're listening, right? He's like, mate, tracking your rise to power, you're smashing it. I had a cheeky bet with my wife you'd end up with politics when you first started your channel. Thanks for the blowjob. Oh, mate. Well, if I think he lives in Wales now, so if I'm ever down that end, I'll be going to Gloucester mate, come and see me in Gloucester. It's not that far, is it? So come down and we'll have a few beers and we'll have a laugh. But yeah, mate, it's all on and up, mate. It's all on and up. But yeah, let me find the. Sorry, I don't want to show my conversations because, good grief, I don't want another conversation with Blair White being leaked. So I'll find the picture that I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go. Right. So this was 14 hours ago. But look, so I just tweeted this. I posted this with "Get Ready," and you can see us like fucking prepared, watching everyone else doing their things on the stage. And yeah, I'm loving. I fucking loving the memes, man. Honestly, you guys keep going. And man, I tell you what, I don't care what anyone else says. I thought I looked quite dapper in that suit. Dank didn't bother dressing up, obviously. But I thought I looked quite dapper. And then, boom. Fucking shit. Look at that triggered fucking face. I fucking told you, we're going over the top. We're giving them everything we've got. And look at that. Got him. Fucking got him. And yeah, and like this was the interview after. She was just like, yeah, this was all bollocks. Not she didn't say what I was, but like she was very nice. She was just totally normal. None of this mattered to her. It was all like, she had to play the game, and okay, I love this. I stand by this comment. If anything I say, it wasn't strong enough. Thanks, David Lammy, for giving me that beautiful meme. But I love that. This is my favorite. This is just my favorite. Like, UKIP leader Batten appears alongside rate tweet. Oh, this was the thing. Yeah, I would say it wasn't strong enough. Yeah, just calling her a giant bitch. That is so funny. That is so funny. I'm so proud of that. I look forward to Jericho. He said he was proud of calling Jess Phillips a giant bitch. What do you say? Oh, shut up. Stop whining that we don't agree with your moral standards. Jesus. Go hard into the paint like that and live with no regrets, man. The whole showdown had me cracking up. Thank you very much. Again, I knew exactly what I was doing. Exactly what I was doing. Is it Danks in your goal to BTFO Sky News reps? Yes. Have a $5 for that boss interview there, thank you. Take my money, Sargon. Jess Phillips, I wouldn't even eat her food, assuming she knew how to cook. She's probably a good cook. She's like she poisoned her own flesh and blood. She could surely. Cheers. This is the thing, right? I don't want to go down the road where we just turn Jess Phillips into a hate figure, and we can't accept the strengths of the person, because I think it's unfair. First of all, but it's also inaccurate, and we have to be sensible and tactical with what we're doing, and to misrepresent your opponent, even if you're making them less respectable than they actually are, even if that seems like you're diminishing them, you're also diminishing your own ability to accurately map the world. And I think that's bad. I think if your opponent has strengths, you should recognize them. You don't want to undermine your own worldview, because that's how you get into a sort of inaccurate, misrepresentative bubble that represents the modern media. How long till press asks questions on Super Chat? Now, that's a good idea, isn't it? Why didn't I think of that? Sargon, you're going to have to stop triggering the BBC. They'll start a campaign against you. Oh, wait, they already have. Yeah, so the campaign against me has been going for like a solid week now. Every fucking day. Dozens and dozens and dozens of articles, right? All I'm saying is that clearly, if I'm taking this much flack, I must be right over the fucking target, right? Like, I must be doing something really right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking about me at all. So, I'm going to keep going. Binary Surfer, oh, this is such a good comment, but man, you're going to get me in trouble. I see a lot of myself in Jess Phillips. Uh-oh, confirmed Sargon would in fact even. You mad lad, I lost my brother to suicide, and hell with that slag for making light of male suicide, give him hell. Mate, my uncle committed suicide. I don't like the way Jess handles this at all. I think she's really bigoted, and I think that comes from the position of her being a feminist, pathologizing and hating men. Yeah, she can get fucked on that regard. And Jess, if you ever want to talk about any of this, my door is always open, and I will be very nice to you because I don't hate you. I wouldn't even. I can't keep saying it. I'll get in trouble. No, they called Jess Phillips a giant bitch. Yeah, I know. No, that it's in the. It's in the. Yeah, I love it. Just Jess Phillips, giant bitch or gigantic bitch or something in the title. Just keep like they're like, oh look, Sargon rape tweet. Okay, fine. The operative word there is tweet. Jess Phillips, giant bitch. The operative word there is bitch. Keep it up, man, and keep coming to the UKIP meeting. Yeah, I know, man. The next UKIP meeting is going to be really interesting because they one of the old boomers there asked them to deselect me, but Batten was, and they challenged me. There's someone at the Swindon branch that wanted him deselected. What did you say, Jared? And Jared was just like, well, loads of people want me deselected. That's politics. Get used to it. And that's the thing. Batten is becoming uncompromising with me. He's like, I'm not gonna admit anything. And like I said, all of the candidates came up to me and shook my hand and said thank you for what you just did on the stage, because they needed a way of basically bursting through the media trying to shame them. It's just like, no, we will not be shamed by you. So if you want to talk to us about politics or about ideas or about policies, whatever, go for it. Don't talk to us about what is offensive to you, because we just don't give a shit. Okay, you can be offended. Go and have a cry in the corner. When you make Dank cover his face, you are edgy. Yeah, I know, right? I love Dank's laughter. He's like, oh shit. Because the thing is, I told him, mate, I'm going over the top. We're gonna go. What are you going to do in your first day in office? I have no idea. I really have no idea. Arias for 1776. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying what I've wanted a politician to say for years. I won't apologise. Good luck from across the pond. Thanks, man. And yeah, I think that's very, very, very important to be firm on that. Hi, Carl. Harry Bloke from XT here. How's your head this morning? Well, I didn't actually get really drunk. I had a few brandies, but there's only like 4 or 5 brandies, so and only singles as well. So I wasn't like massively drunk. So I had the press conference, and I wanted to be on form, because if they want some performance art, I'll give them some performance art. The news is giving you free advertising, and I think this kind of reaction will help them gain attention from the youth. Spot on. I hope so. You always said you wouldn't get into politics, but they managed to drag you in, and they're regretting it every step. Yeah, I know, it's great. Love the response. Keep up the good work, you boomer. Thank you very much. I look forward to when the sort of campaign's over, because either way, there are loads of scripts that I've got that are either skeletons of things I need to fill out or half done, and I really want to get them done, but I just don't have the time at the moment, obviously. And so yeah, I've got loads of content that I actually want to make that is decent, informative content. So do you have a reading list you can share somewhere? Books, papers to read, also Hong Kong from New York, USA. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Rules for Radicals. Just read that. You've all got to understand it. Watch my video, read it. It's good for you. It'll be good for you to know why exactly they do what they do. Thank you, Zora Majora. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm really knackered, man. I've been really burning the midnight oil. How dare you tell a woman you wouldn't even rape her? Outrageous. Every woman should be told. There are some things I probably can't say now because I don't want Batten getting in more trouble. But thank you, The Last Russian. I'll speak to you on Discord in a bit. Well, tomorrow probably. Never forget that most MPs and public figures are elitists. They don't want the plebs thinking they can get involved in serious politics. Yeah, that really is it. I'm a populist. I'm not an elitist. That's the antonym of that. And I like talking to you guys more than I like schmoozing with really rich, powerful, plotting, paranoid people. Your response to Sky News. For your response to Sky News, thank you. Greetings, Mad Lad from California. I love Mad Lads. When you become MEP, can you Facebook to allow Tommy back onto their platform? I think that'll be beyond my power. Your audio is much better today. Yes, I'm on my actual studio mic. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, how much longer? Long time lurker, first time comment, ever a bit flushed lately, so I thought I'd return the favour. Oh, thank you. Been a listener of yours for years. Keep it up, Carl. Hopefully you wouldn't rate me either. I promise that I wouldn't. From Texas for the anti-smear campaign, since I can't legally vote for you. Thank you. If Trump is the God Emperor, what Primarch does that make you? Warmaster Horus? I don't think I'd go to war with the God Emperor. Since I'm not sure. I'll ask Arch which Primarch he thinks. In fact, I'll do that now, actually. Arch. Which Primarch am I? Since we're in Clown World and words no longer have meanings, we may as well start rebranding them. Far-right AOC, alt-right Tariq, well, he basically is. Religious right feminist moralists. They basically are, but I think that's a really good idea, Marusha, sorry. I always get your name wrong, dude. I'm really sorry. Let them see how it feels. Yeah, I agree. We should just start calling them commie scum. Dissenters will be judged. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. I think I'm just gonna have to go in a minute. I know there are a lot of them I didn't get, but I'm really sorry. I'm unable to control how tired I am now. But Dissenters will be judged. Not those who are not for freedom will be mercilessly punished for their crimes against the people. Sargon, 3 years ago, you said Jehovah in a tweet. How dare you say Jehovah? Oh, I'm a fucking heretic. Sorry. No, I don't apologize. Never apologize. The Mad Mercenary, dude. Hey, Sargon, I love the image, mate. Thanks for using it. No, dude. Thank you for sending it over. It looks awesome. It looks awesome. No, not so obvious. Sent you another great one for this exact situation. I call it the UKIP poster. I'll ask him about it tomorrow. I can't remember seeing it, but thanks again for this one, because dude, this is a lovely background. Because I'm not like one of those sort of like flag waving types, but it is nice to have this kind of artistic background. I really like it. It's very tasteful, I thought, Thank you. And thanks, SMW119, Micah, Eric, Jordan, and Eric again, and Alex, and Jordan, and Roxanne, and D Hammonds89. Thank you. Check out the SGT report. You guys may have already Brexted. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes, but I'm going to wait till it's finished to know. You have been an absolute riot to watch today, Sargon. Loved every minute of you guys dressing down the media Trump style without apology. Suing Jess Phillips? No, I don't see the need to sue Jess Phillips. I'll probably end up suing the Sun. They said, apparently, I haven't seen it, but it's alleged that they have said that I sent Jess Phillips a rape threat, which I think is a big naughty no, because I know I didn't send her a rape threat. So, like I said, I'll be consulting a lawyer and see what they say. I mean, it could be they say, nah, you can't really do this because of X, Y, Z. And I'm like, okay, fair enough, But I'll see, I'll be advised. Honk honk, thank you, Ianda. Carl Bird, sorry, this is my first super chat. Sorry it took me so long, man. Keep it a good fight. Dude, you don't have to apologize for anything. You don't owe me anything. So honestly, you're fine. You're fine, I promise. Scott, thank you. Marushia Dark. Can't wait to reunite with you and Tim in New Jersey in August. Yeah, man. I know your list is long, but promise me you'll at least attempt to start reading the books I gave you during last minute. Chaz for life. Honestly, I can't promise anything like that, but I will do what I can. Watching you tell that reporter to get bent was the best thing I've ever seen. Loved it. Dude, it felt great. I'm sick of these bullies, and that's what they are. They're bullies. That's what they're, moral bullies, and I hate it. And that's all they do to UKIP. I don't know why UKIP do any talking to the press, because it's always them attack. And it's like, no, now we're on the attack. You guys can get fucked. Kudos, Sargon, never apologize. I won't. Please post a link in the description or something to the fireworks so we can see if it's not local. Also, your watch seems to be 24 minutes off, mate. I guess it probably is. I haven't looked. Fight the good fight. What did you say in V's clip of you? I can't hear it. I told her that yes, it is acceptable to make jokes about rape to women. That's what I said. And because it is. It absolutely is. You can make jokes about anything. And David Baddiel was like, well, he says it's a joke, but he seems awfully angry. It's like, dude, the joke was 3 years ago. Now I'm angry because I'm just constantly being talked over by journalists who are just not listening. I'm not going to apologize. Stop asking me if I'm going to give an apology or to explain myself. I don't care what your opinion on it is. Go say what you like. Spread whatever lies or propaganda you like. I don't care. I wouldn't even honk you. Enjoy my... thanks, Joel. Enjoy my... right, okay, right. Thank you. Right, I've reached the end. Excellent. I feel I have to be diligent, but man, I am fucking knackered. I shouldn't be swearing. Sorry, Michael. Oh, man. Poor old Michael. Long-suffering Michael. He's just, oh, Jesus. This is going to cause so much trouble. Yes, it did. Right. I'll see you all later, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. And I have a couple of days where I'm actually not going anywhere or doing anything. So I'll be able to put some videos out on the Thinkery of news items I haven't been able to cover. And I'm going to do a video about Roger Scruton, the conservative philosopher who recently got railed by the politically correct establishment and the cowardly, openly morally bankrupt, utterly spineless Conservative Party, who just dumped him because a bunch of leftist media took a bunch of quotes of his out of context and was like, how dare he say these things? It's time we all do a David Starkey and just tell him to sit down and shut up.